Andor, being adult Star Wars, has shown us the first of many, and this episode features the first racial profiling I've ever seen in a Star Wars. So, congratulations. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis, as I review Andor Episode 7. What were our thoughts on this one? It's actually interesting that this episode manages to do 26 minutes before Andor even shows up in his own show. It's kind of evidence that he gets lost in his own show. What this show is, it's called Andor, but really it should just be called Star Wars World, because what it is this is the most fleshed out, greatest world building, greatest mythology building out of any of the series or movies. Basically, they're taking everything we understand from the movies and they're just adding layers to it, that you get to see the subtleties of how average people live on Coruscant. How do people have jobs? How do cops operate? This is the first time I think we've seen a courtroom in Star Wars, and I really, really am loving the hell out of this show. Before we go any further, I'm going to have to beg you to give me a like. Smash that button, and also hit the subscribe button. I need those subscriptions, guys. It's only because of viewers like you that allow the Fat Mantis to rant and rave on the interwebs. Moving on. So we've got Andor Episode 7, and I want to first feature on one of my big theories. Now, I want to talk about this woman right here, this woman in the red hood. Now, it has been constantly theorized by me in all my other Andor videos, been saying it since day one, that I believe Dedra Meero, that's the lieutenant in the Imperial Security Bureau, is actually his sister in disguise. They actually purposely gave this woman roots, dark roots, and contact lenses, and it's very clear she's covering up her true image. Now, whether this is just a weird fashion decision, I don't know why. However, I believe Tony Gilroy and all these other guys are smarter than that, and I think they are hinting that she isn't who we believe her to be. Or just as Andor pretends to be someone from a different planet, I think it was Feast Fest, something like that. She too probably doesn't want people to know that she's from Kenari, and actually originally he stole that Imperial technology because his sister helped him do it, and ultimately he's not the genius spy that he leads on to believe, and that she is actually his biological sister. Now, why am I bringing up this chick in the red? Well, everyone I tell this theory to, they keep saying, no, the lady in the red hood is going to end up being his sister. I think that's his sister. I think that's his sister. It's possible. But in this episode, she literally orders the assassination of Cassian Andor and mentions him by name. She says, you must kill or get rid of Cassian Andor. That doesn't seem like a very sisterly move to me. I don't know about you. Which is why I believe this eliminates this woman as being his sister. As a matter of fact, she's wearing red. Now, I don't believe this is a reference to Little Red Riding Hood, as a lot of you perverts are thinking. But I believe that this is actually a reference to a red herring. I believe she's the red herring sister. She's the fake out sister, because the real sister is the Imperial. Anyway, moving on. So we get to actually see ultimately the aftermath of the heist throughout this episode. And we actually get to see Andor revisit his mother, who has completely become a coward. She's not the same adventurer she was back in the day, who used to steal from both sides during the Clone Wars. It's bizarre to see that happen, just a little visit from some security agents, but whatever. His love interest is rejecting him hardcore. I guess she feels a little guilty that the beta she was stringing along got shot because of her. And at the end, we get a visit from a KOSO droid. And what does this droid do? It ends up arresting him. He gets falsely accused by a soldier. He gets arrested, and he's been sentenced to 6 years. Now, I'm telling you, not only is he the type of guy who doesn't just sit around prisons or whatever, he will escape, but it doesn't make any sense. There is no way he is fulfilling that entire prison sentence. And the reason why is this story takes place 5 years before Rogue One, which means if he actually stayed for 6 years, he wouldn't have been in the movie Rogue One. So I think it's safe to assume he's going to escape. Maybe he'll meet some rebels inside prison and they will escape together. That actually seems like a pretty fun... I can't wait. I'm really enjoying this series. Now, with Solar Karn, who took up a chunk of the first half of the episode, we continue to see his miserable life. I'm not actually sure. I feel like they're giving us too much of his life. It is interesting that he's basically working in a mid-tier paper company. He might as well be in the Dunder Mifflin of Star Wars. His life is pathetic. He is a loser, and I understand he's down and out. He eats cereal all day, drinking blue milk, and hanging out with an overbearing mother. Sounds like my life. But I think I've seen enough of it. Get him back into the game, because I don't want to keep seeing how pathetic his life is. I think they're overdoing it. I think this might be... I will even admit to this, even though I love this series. They could edit these episodes down, and they could shave off of them. I think that maybe 3-episode arcs are a little bit much. I honestly think if they had tried, they could have made them 2-episode arcs. And just save time on it. I mean, this is why the series is running to 12 episodes, because they're kind of wasting time on things like this. It's not excruciating. It's not so boring I'm falling asleep. However, I do want to get to that action-packed, juicy episode that we know episode 9 is going to be. Can't wait to see whatever shootout he's going to be involved in. I'm assuming it's a prison break. It should be a good time. Now, I think a lot of people are frustrated that there aren't enough Easter eggs or connections to the Force or the Jedi. Now, in terms of that, I don't need that in a series. I absolutely do not need that. I think there's a lot of people. There's actually one prominent nerd who decided he's not going to cover Star Wars anymore because he was so butthurt that Andor was adult and different. I think that's a bit much. That's a little extreme. I don't even respect that decision of his. But I would say that I understand people like things like The Mandalorian, and they like the Jedi, and they like the Sith, and they like all that kind of stuff, and lightsabers are where it's at. I do like seeing other stuff. I do like seeing how the normies live. How does Han Solo get through his day? Well, we won't know, but we can kind of guess, because I'm sure it's similar to Cassian Andor, same character type, am I right? But what are your thoughts on this episode? Please let me know down in the comments. What do you think of my theory of the sisterhood situation? Which one is his sister? I seriously doubt it's the one who wants him dead. Also, Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma, can you pick up the storyline, please? You are also moving at a snail's pace, man. Like, I don't like it when characters are featured within an episode, but it doesn't matter what they do in that episode. Basically, if you're going to put something in an episode, it has to affect the bigger picture. And just seeing her at dinner parties, just seeing her just be you know, an upper class Karen on Coruscant, isn't that entertaining? So get with it. Anyway, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis, and keep tuning in for more Andor and Star Wars reviews and analysis. Until next time, ciao for now.